always say, "Oh, it's just not the right time for me to buy," or I'm just not sure if when. The question is, when is it going to be the right time? I mean, is it ever?
If you start off with the right agenda when you go in to purchase a property, such as we know nationally the turnover for how long people stay in their home, 7 years?
Yeah, like 6.8 or something like that.
And where I live, not live, but where I work in Carmel Valley.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to say
maybe it's the 7-year itch.
It is a 7-year itch, and it's even less in certain areas like 92130, where I work. But if they go into it with the right strategies in mind, that they're going to use this property over the long term, whether or not this is the one that they're going to retire in, at least purchase their first kicker starter home in order to use the equity down the line and to purchase another home and build that way and quantify their position.
What do they have to do to be prepared to buy?
Well, people ask me this all the time because I'm a buyer specialist, and buyers come, and young buyers, first-time home buyers, like, is this a good time to buy? And I say, well, what's your financial position? Can you buy? Because if you can buy, it's always a good time to buy. You might be buying a little bit at the height, you might be buying a little bit of the low, but if you get the right loan, the right down payment, and you set this up correctly, then in the long run, you'll look back in 10 years and say, hey, John, thanks. In fact, a lot of times I'll tell them what you do is you get qualified and you get in a position to buy the biggest home you can afford. And I've had people come back to me after 5 years and say, John, I wish I listened to you.
Yeah.
And bought something bigger, because that spread, that margin and equity between a $300,000 home at the time that you bought it and a $350,000 home is so much more enormous 5 years down the road. And a lot of things change when people buy homes, because home becomes priority, it becomes important. They want to build their nest, maybe have kids. And I really think the whole investment side of buying a home is really secondary to what we really are in the market for homes.
For sure.
For in the first place. But they have to go in and determine their purchasing power. How much can they afford? What's that monthly payment going to be? What's it going to look like after my taxes and my recapture? And then, can I get qualified for X amount? And that's where the lender comes in, because the lender, and we've talked about this, is actually the biggest buyer in the transaction most of the time. 20% down, the lender's going to own 80% of that house. The lender's going to want to make sure that you're partnering up. Yeah,
for sure.
You're partnering with the right people that have the right credit, that can afford this, that have the employment history, and all those things. And we want to knock all those questions out up front before I even open up a house.